Every generation or so, a show comes along that changes the foundation of a medium as a whole. Series such as Evangelion, Cowboy Bebop, and Sword Art Online are all shows which come to mind. However, such works of art also exist within hentai in the form of timeless classics such as Bible Black, Time and Inazagi, Bakuane, and of course, Rocks. Wait, what? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special episode of Should You Fap To, where in celebration of us hitting 1,000 subscribers, I allowed you guys to choose the topic of today's episode, and you decided that the thing you wanted me to review the most was... Rocks. Now at this point you're probably thinking that I'm just gonna throw in a bunch of Land of the Lustrous jokes and be done with it. And normally you'd be right, but there's just one little problem with it this time around, is that we're not reviewing Land of the Lustrous. We're reviewing Rocks. We're reviewing fucking Rocks revolves around brooding high school student Dwayne Johnson, who's the newest member of the student council at Rock High. It's also in the student council that we meet the rest of our cast. We've got Quartz, the student council president, Diamond, the vice president, Pebble, who's the council secretary and only lolly in the series, might I add, and now don't you worry about legality, boys. She's actually a 600-year-old piece of granite. And then lastly, we've got the council's treasurer, as well as Rock High's most renowned edgelord, Flint. Now, due to some odd occurrences around school lately, Dwayne has been assigned as Quartz's bodyguard, and with the two of them having to spend almost every waking moment of the day together, you can kind of piece together where this whole shebang kind of ends up, as this setup is what serves as the catalyst for majority of the sex scenes. So one of the first things you're gonna notice when you start watching this series is that the entire thing is made with CG. And while I know that the mere mention of CG is gonna cause some of you to have some lame-style flashbacks of that one dragon in Fate, I actually think they managed to implement it quite well. In fact, half the time you can barely even tell that it's an animation at all, and it becomes incredibly easy to get immersed in the show. Heck, at some points I was so engrossed that I almost forgot I was just looking at a bunch of rocks being wiggled around to simulate motion. Even with its stellar animation though, the real carry point of this series is definitely the characters. Especially the antagonist, Flint, who at the start of the series helps out and befriends Dwayne, only to then show his true colors later on and betray Dwayne in a stone-hearted manner once the opportunity arises. You just don't get that kind of character development in today's hentai. That doesn't mean the hentai is perfect though, and a common criticism you often hear about the show is that the sex scenes are extremely dry due to none of the characters having any genitalia. And while this is a fair point, it should be mentioned that this isn't because the characters don't actually have any private parts, but rather because Negibtra, aka the company who's in charge of censoring the juicy bits out, was so afraid that the show wouldn't make it past publishing that they decided to just straight remove everything resembling a sex organ, rather than doing a standard pixelation. What it lacks in the hot department, however, it more than makes up for with just the sheer amount of hype pumping through this series. For example, there's this one scene in episode 3 where Flint and Dwayne face off against each other, and while I won't spoil the outcome of the fight, or the fight itself, just take a look at the scene that leads up to it and tell me that you don't get pumped watching it. Give it up, Flint! I know everything about your plans to take down Quartz and becoming the new student council president yourself.
Oh, Dwayne. Sweet, naive Dwayne. Did you not think that I'd accounted for this? I know that you knew about my plans.
And act surprised. If it wasn't because I already knew that you knew that I knew about your plans. What's wrong, Flint? So scared you're laughing?
I guess you're not that sharp, huh? Let me spell it out for you then. I knew that you knew that I knew that you knew.
Impressive, Flint, I must say. But you forgot to take one little thing into account.
And what would that be?
The fatal flaw in your plan that will be your undoing, Flint. It's the fact that I knew that you knew that I knew that you knew that I knew.
What?
You've lost your edge, Flint. It's over.
Dwayne!
Flint! All in all, Rocks is a timeless classic which any hentai enthusiast should enjoy at some point. Should you fap to Rocks? Yeah, go right ahead. Finding yourself a copy might prove difficult though. In fact, the only place where I could find one was on the phone where I recorded the entire thing. But that's probably just me, right? Right?